You might be able to make the case that Week 12 has arguably been the best week of NFL football in this 2025 NFL season. 8 games came down to a single score, and look no further than the matchup between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles, where the Cowboys overcame a 21-0 deficit in the first half. The comeback, scoring 24 unanswered points, winning 24-21, tying their largest comeback in franchise history. Dak Prescott, George Pickens, the defense in Dallas, which has been abysmal before their bye week, has put 2 great weeks of tape on film for sure. Since the Cowboys acquired Quentin Williams, they have allowed 43 rushing yards on 19 carries in 2 games this season with Quentin Williams. So that's just making a huge defensive effort there. You saw the 2 fumbles. Not only the Cowboys defense force, but their special teams too. And offensively, George Pickens continues to arguably him, Jackson Smith-Njigba in Seattle, those 2 receivers. But right now, George Pickens, you can make the argument that he's the best receiver in the league and even the best receiver on his team right now, but we're not going to start that controversy. But George Pickens had 9 receptions on 9 targets for 146 receiving yards and a receiving touchdown too. Dak Prescott continues, in my opinion, he had a great 2023 season, but this is the best that we've seen Dak Prescott play right now at the age of 32 years old in his prime, and this Cowboys team has a shot to make the playoffs in the NFC at a 5-5-1 record. They're going to have a really intriguing matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs on Thanksgiving, which really means a lot for both squads. We saw the Chiefs themselves come back, overcoming a 20-9 deficit against the Indianapolis Colts in Week 12 to get their 6th win of the season, moving to 6-5. They're not trying to lose any ground on that race in themselves, and even though they might not win the AFC West for the first time in the Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid era, they can still make some noise in the playoffs, and anyone still, even as a wild card, wouldn't want to see the Chiefs in the playoffs. So I think they still have a lot of opportunities to play well, even though they had their inconsistencies on offense. You look at the matchup that started up NFL Week 12, the Houston Texans, where they had 8 sacks on the Buffalo Bills. Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson Jr. just going crazy in that matchup. Davis Mills playing solidly and competent, advancing Texans to a 6-5 record after they started off 0-3. They were 3-5 at one point. And the Texans are making things very interesting in the AFC South, right behind the Jaguars and the Indianapolis Colts. We saw Shedeur Sanders make his first start and play solidly within the offense, but really the biggest story from that game is Myles Garrett, as he had 3 sacks in that game, and he's had 7 sacks in the past 2 games. He already has 18 sacks on the season. He only needs 5 sacks to break the all-time sacking record, which is tied with TJ Watt and Michael Strahan. So Myles Garrett continues to be arguably the best defensive player in the league, maybe just definitively, not even arguably. Los Angeles, the Rams, as they defeated the Buccaneers, winning 34-7 on Sunday Night Football. Matthew Stafford is not only probably the MVP favorite right now, he also became the first quarterback this season to 30 touchdowns, and he's also thrown 25 touchdowns since his last interception. So he's just playing at a high level. You can make the argument that the Rams are the best team in the league right now. To watch what else I learned and took away from this NFL Week 12, make sure that you check out my full NFL Week 12 recap on YouTube. Subscribe and turn on post notifications. A lot more heat on the way. NBA, NFL, Marvel, DC, pop culture. Jesus loves you. Y'all have a good one. Swag.